pleasure to have in studio Alicia Christiansen. She is now going to be the superintendent of schools at Northeast, of course, a Northeast grad. I brought out a poster. It would have been your senior year of basketball, I believe. Was that your senior year?
I think this would be my junior year.
Junior year?
Yes.
Okay. Is Michelle on that?
Yes, so I think it would have been her senior year, my junior year.
Okay. Do you recognize some of those girls on that poster?
I recognize all of them. This is a great memory here, Gary.
Always love watching you guys play out there. It was a lot of fun. Henry Wagermaster used to sit right next to me up there, and some great memories. You, of course, got the opportunity not only to play with your sister in high school, but at the Mount as well. What was the decision to follow her at the Mount?
Well, you know, there was many factors that went into that decision for me, but ultimately, you know, I really valued the coaching staff who was recruiting me. Obviously, the experience of playing with a sister during high school fed into that as well. And then they had the program of education I was interested in, which was teaching. And so when you combine all those factors, it was just a great opportunity to continue to play and get my academics. And then I love that my family could still support us all. You know, they would travel across the conference with us up to Viterbo when we went there. You know, Mount Wesleyan, I think it was at that time, who's closed. But just great opportunity. So really enjoyed it.
I know how much family means to you, because whenever I cover Northeast, I see your grandmother there, mom and dad are there, cousins are there. It's, you know, it really is a family atmosphere.
Yes, it really is. And they are still there as they come and watch my children play. Grandma Verley still sits in the top row with my mom and dad, yells as loud as she did back then. So it's a privilege to be able to just sit and enjoy that as a family.
Yeah, what was it like to have both your boys playing together for 1 year?
I'm not going to lie, might have been a little stressful at times, Gary. I would joke they would come home from practice and I could often tell how practice went, you know, whether the demeanor was they came in the door and they were getting along, or they came in the door and maybe they were a little spatting at each other. But it was a privilege, you know, to sit there as a parent and to enjoy, first off, the atmosphere, the team camaraderie that they had. You know, Chase, as a senior, was such a leader on that team, and what he was able to support Jackson as a freshman with, I just can't even put into words how special it was for us.
You know, I know Chase dealt with injuries, unfortunately, in his high school career, and it was funny how, as a senior, because younger he was probably a scorer, but then as a senior you could see he was more of the distributor.
His mentality was completely, whatever we need to do to win, Mom, I'm going to do for the team. And to me, that exhibits a true leader when you put team before self, and that's exactly what I would describe of Chase to be.
Yeah, but it looks like Jackson's a scorer.
He is gifted in that way, that is for sure. And, you know, he looks forward to expanding. He obviously, I think if you were sitting here today, would tell you he's learned a lot from being able to play with people like Chase and Gavin and Michael Frame and Calvin Fowler, because they all bring different attributes to the game. And I think as a young player, you're molded by those experiences.
We're talking about athletics, and I want to bring this up. You, of course, athletics a big part of your life. How did that help prepare you for what you do now?
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, just like we tell our kids nowadays, you know, sports, you know, winning and losing is one thing, but it's about the skills you gain through teamwork, perseverance. You know, as you speak of Chase, like he had to persevere through some injuries, and those are just habits you develop in yourself to be successful for whatever you choose to do next. So, you know, it's the same message, you know, I experienced as somebody attending Northeast schools that we tell our students nowadays that walk the halls. Be involved, be a part of a team. Take risks, try new things. You learn from all those experiences, and there's no doubt athletics does that, fine arts does that, the drama area does that as well.
We had, in fact, Fine Arts, they got their play coming up
Matilda,
this weekend.
yes.
We had, Lauren and Holly were in, did a great job, and of course, Chris. So, I mean, we're talking athletics, but academics, the arts. All of this, as a superintendent, you're going to oversee all of this.
Very exciting, and there's no doubt I'm proud of what Northeast offers to all our students, and I look forward to, well, first off, I've been away from the system for 7 years, so one of my goals right away is just to start listening and learning from what's been going on the past 7 years, and there's no doubt our fine arts, as you referenced, Matilda this weekend, I'm excited to go see it. I hope other community members come out as well. You know, there's lots of conversations about career tech education going on out at Northeast and what's next around that, and then our athletics, but I'm super proud of what we offer for our students, and I cannot wait to continue to discuss with our students and staff what's next. What other things do we need to consider in service of our students?
Again, visiting with Alicia Christiansen. Let's talk about what led you to what is going to be a new role in your life? You mentioned education at Mount St. Clair. What were some of the first opportunities that you got?
Yeah, you bet. So, I don't know if many people know this. I actually started my teaching career in Clinton schools. I was a math teacher over at Washington Middle School. Some of the best experiences working with some great educators. Did that for about 5 years, taught 7th and 8th grade math. And then moved over to Clinton High School, where I was a part of the administrative team for a couple of years. And again, got to work on a really dynamic team, experience some new levels of leadership. At that point is when the Northeast Middle School, High School principalship opened up. And so I decided to throw my name in the hat there, and ended up being a great fit for me for 6 years out there, where, at that time we had some different transitions going on. We brought the 6th grade from the elementary up to the high school, and it was just a privilege for me to serve in a system where I could go into the lunchroom, talk with my 6th grade students, and the next lunch period sit down with my seniors and talk about their post-secondary plans. And then currently, when I stepped away from doing that, I've been a regional administrator at the Mississippi Bend AEA for the last 7 years. And really, that leadership experience has just extended to allow me to understand the preschool through 5th grade world of leadership. Prior to going to the AEA, all my experiences had been 6-12, and setting our kids up for secondary experiences and the next step. And in my current role, I work with superintendents and directors, and we're really looking at the full scope of education and planning for that preschool experience for our 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds, to their elementary experience, to then their high school experience. So do that with 5 different districts. So I've just really gotten to experience a lot of different levels of leadership and network with some great superintendents and directors across our AEA.
With my opportunity to cover sports, I've seen teachers, coaches who have gotten into administration. And I have always wondered, why would you take the step from the classroom to being an administrator? What was the reasoning behind your move?
I just felt like I could really lead at another level, Gary, truthfully. When you move into leadership, you're now empowering other adults to be better people, to lead better, to be better educators. And that is fulfilling for me, to be able to work with different groups of adults, bring them together, think about next steps, and empower them to make that next step in the journey. What I love about Northeast, and one of the reasons I'm excited to go back, is it's still small enough I can stay connected with students and families. So that's obviously one of my biggest goals as I step into this new role, is just to reconnect. There's a lot of new families out at Northeast since I've left. I envision, as I'm at different activities, getting to meet some of them, hear about their experiences, and just reconnect with the great people that make Northeast what it is.
Did it help the fact that you had that classroom experience to go into administration?
Absolutely. And I would tell you, Gary, one of my priorities as a leader is to stay connected to the instruction, curriculum assessment side of things. I think it's powerful when a leader can work alongside educators and talk about, what's next, maybe wrestle with some new strategies that we might try in the classroom. I've always been a leader who really values being in classroom spaces, just to learn and grow alongside the teachers.
When you were in school, was it everything in Goose Lake, or were there still Elvira and Charlotte?
Nope, we had Elvira. So the elementary was in Goose Lake, the middle school was in Elvira, and then you came back to Goose Lake for the high school experience.
So it's great to have everything on one campus site.
It's wonderful. In the time I was principal there, that was when we were finishing up the Fine Arts Auditorium construction. The community was on board with then, a construction bond referendum to build our new gymnasium, our science and our STEM additions. And that happened while I was there at principal, which also took renovation of our softball field, which I know you've been out to several times, and our baseball field construction. So a lot of development in the Northeast District back in my time there.
So again, what are some of your goals? What would you like to accomplish in this new role?
My biggest priority right away, Gary, is just, and I think I made this statement earlier, is just to go reconnect with the great people out at Northeast, listen to what's been going on the last few years, because there's some really great things happening, understand where we need to go next. So you're going to see me at a lot of various activities across all the district events, just connecting with people. When school starts up, I can't wait to get into classrooms. see what's happening. Can't wait to sit around, visit with the staff to hear about what their needs are so we can continue to build great things for our students.
Again, visiting with Alicia Christiansen on FYI. We take a break for the weather. We'll be back and wrap things up with her.
Some light fog outside to start your Thursday that'll quickly burn off, revealing some sunshine and clouds mixed. And we still can't rule out a shower or even an isolated thunderstorm at any point today. Temperatures back into the upper 50s. For tonight, we'll see partly cloudy skies and overnight lows in the upper 30s. With your Storm Track 8 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Andrew Stutsky.
Well, Alicia tells me it's clearing out there in the county, so that's good to hear. Right now we're at 37 degrees. Our update brought to you by Midas, the locally owned and operated Clinton Midas, proud to have served you for 48 years. And they ask, are the potholes getting the best of you and your vehicle? Don't fret. The Clinton Midas to the rescue with alignment and suspension repair. Also be sure to see the Clinton Midas for tires, batteries, brakes, and general maintenance on your vehicle. Come to the Clinton Midas, 1432 Lincoln Way. You can trust the Clinton Midas with the golden guarantee. Alicia, appreciate you coming in. Thanks so much. So you've been a teacher, you've been a principal, you've been with AEA, now you're going to be a superintendent. Talk about this different role that you're going to be taking on.
Yeah, and I think you use the words here and break a typical day. I don't know if I'm going to say there's going to be a typical day for me in this leadership role. When in district, it's going to be a high priority for me to be present in both buildings. Campus is right there together, so spending time at the elementary level, really working with my administrative team to understand what their goals are, maybe visiting spaces together, talking with students, and then you'll see equal time of me up at the high school level. Same thing in that building, visiting spaces. We have a lot of wonderful conversations happening at the district level as well. There's been a facilities committee going all year. I've been privileged to serve on that as a parent, member of the community, and so excited to see where that conversation continues to evolve and what level of leadership I can continue to bring to the table based on what that facilities committee believes is the next steps for our Northeast students and staff.
We have some new superintendents in the area. Wes Golden at Clinton High School, Justin Schaefer over there in Comanche. Talk about working with the other school districts, primarily in the county.
Absolutely. Well, in my role at the AEA, one of the privileges I have is I get to sit monthly with the Mississippi Bend AEA superintendents, which includes Justin and Wes, Stephanie Mischler out there at DeWitt, new superintendent as well. So I've loved just even starting to get to network with them in that capacity. They are one of the first peoples that emailed me or texted me to congratulate me, welcome me to this new role. So I look forward to using them as colleagues to bounce ideas off of. When you think about it, Gary, we're all serving Eastern Iowa students and families. And we all, at the heart of it, care very much about our school district being successful and our students walking out of their school experiences prepared for what's next. And I know that together we can use each other to continue to leverage that on behalf of our kids. So I'm excited to learn from them in their endeavors, to process and collaborate with them as I take on new challenges.
You had the opportunity to go to Mount St. Clair, a local school. We unfortunately do not have a four-year school anymore in the area, but we do have Clinton Community College. Talk about the role of Northeast, some of the area high schools with Clinton Community College. I know Dr. Brian Kelly really kind of reaches out.
Yeah, such a collaborative relationship. Again, the heart of that relationship is all about opportunities for our students, thinking about the academy's experiences, the senior year plus college course opportunities that we offer to our kids. None of that is possible if we aren't willing to come to the table, be collaborative, brainstorm, think about what's next. I personally, have a son benefiting from that relationship. Chase has taken advantage of the opportunities that, because EICC is a collaborative partner at the table with us as a public school district, he's been able to tap into many college credits, which is setting him up for what his next step will look like as well. I look forward to just continuing to grow what those opportunities can look like.
That is great. Hey, any closing comments as we let you go on? Appreciate so much your time. As I circulate, can reconnect with people, Gary, I'm excited and honored to step into this role for Northeast. There's no doubt Northeast is a very special place to me as a graduate, as somebody raising a family in this system. And I thank the community for all of their support and trust. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. The Mercy One KROS Plus 50 Living Fair will take place on Tuesday, April 22nd at the Vista Grande from 8 a.m. till noon. Mercy One will be providing special health screening opportunities